Hello and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we catch up on current events and headlines. My name is Glenn Rashipura and this is NMH at 1. This morning saw the launch of the tourism sector COVID-19 vaccination drive in Namibia. The Executive Director of the Ministry of Health and Social Services introduced statistics and new goals. So keep abreast of developments as the media makes more details available to you today and tomorrow. And in incoming news this morning, those of you who might have missed the fact that some of our Vento rivers have been flowing quite strongly might appreciate this photoshoot by Cosima Businga, showing the Avis Dam that has enjoyed some water inflow. And now from our video news from around the country. Kenya Kambwe caught up with student activist Ansfried Muyo in Rundu. Here's what he had to share.
Mr. Moyo, can you just briefly tell us about the issue about non-payment of tuition fees of students at various tertiary institutions by the Namibia Financial Student Assistance Fund?
Thank you for the question. Basically, what is happening with the Namibian Student Financial Assistance Fund is a student at any institution of higher learning in Namibia can sign a contract and receive an award letter. Maybe the student is from NAST or IUM or UNAM, but then there's no guarantee of this student being paid both their tuition and non-tuition fees. Some reasons that are being given by NSFAF is invoices are not sent by those certain institutions. But then I have picked up as a student leader, when I was a student leader in 2020 at the University of Namibia Rundu campus, I picked up that despite the invoices being sent with NSFAF, still you'd find that their non-tuition of a certain student or tuition fee of a certain student is not yet settled. Several attempts are made through phone calls, emails, but this is not working. It has proven itself. For example, like last year, I took up an issue of a certain student, Dumo Anselma, from 2019. I tried to engage the payment chief officer, Joseph Mnakapa, on this student. The student was not paid for the tuition and non-tuition fee for 2019. So basically is to say it's an NSFAF problem, not an institution or an invoice problem, but this is an NSFAF problem.
Okay. Now, at the current stage, it's a registration for the new academic year for 2022. So what does this mean when you say students are not yet paid? What implications are there involved?
Implications are, it's like when you try to attempt to register yourself at an institution of higher learning, they will not allow you to register because it's the business for them. They require you to settle what you owe them before you are allowed to register. So this will affect certain students, especially the vulnerable students. Now, in this case, student leaders have to again come up with a way or alternative in order for them to engage different managements and different institutions for them to reach an agreement as to just allow these students to register. And this has become a norm in every year. It has become a habit that every year it's happening whereby student leaders have to engage the management on students that have signed loan contracts, which are supposed not to be done like that. If a student signed a contract in 2021, then let the student be paid in 2021, because that's why the student has received an award letter saying that, yes, we have received your application, we are going to fund for you for the next 4 years. But that is not basically what's happening in most of the students.
Okay. Seeing that this is a loan, have you tried to inquire as to what happens now, seeing that if a student, for example, signed a 4-year contract loan, there's a specific amount, say that no, your loan is, for example, 150,000 for the duration. Now, if NASWAF is failing to pay and the student drops out of school, now, does this student now have to pay back the full amount to NASWAF, which she signed the contract to, or how does it happen?
That has not been made clear by the Namibian Student Financial Assistance Fund. What I've seen is they
Some of the exempt results are being expected tonight. Republicans' Kristen Kruger filed this report.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Christine Creer. Matric learners from several schools across the country will receive their final results tonight at midnight when the IEB Grade 12 results are made public. This includes learners from schools such as Windhoek Afrikaans Privaat School, Pro Ed, El Nathan and Dolphin. Some learners still depend on these results to get their final admission into their respective universities and tertiary institutions.
My name is Elzette Harmse. I'm an Afrikaans home language teacher at Windhoek Afrikaans Private School. I taught 2021's matrics and I'm anxiously waiting for their results that they are receiving at midnight tonight. But I only expect exceptional results of this group. Thank you.
Hallo, ek is Inge Becker. Ek was laas jaar die hoofdogter van Windhoek Afrikaanse Privaat Skool. Ek het aansoek gedoen vir tandheelkunde by KU Leuven in België en ek stres bietjie oor my punte, veral wiskunde en wetenskap, maar ek dink alles gaan goed wees.
Marie Mostert en ek was in Privaat Skool Nathan op skool. Ek voel in 'n jaar vol onsekerhede met ons elkeen ons rustigheid vind by God. Ek is baie opgewonde om my uitslae te sien en ek gaan sielkundig gaan swaar.
Good afternoon, I'm Anna-Marie Boysen. I was in Matric in VAP Engineering at the Stellenbosch University. Our marks are automatically being sent to university, which is quite nerve-wracking, but I am positive and hoping for the best.
Learners can access their IEB results by going to www.iebonline.co.za and logging in with their IEB exam number and date of birth.
In our third and final video for the day, a lady of Swakopmund, Desiree Houses, is one of many parents who is struggling to find a place at school for her child. She spoke to Erwin Luschner.
Meneer, my naam is Desiree. Ek bly in DRC. Ek sukkel om my kind skool te kry vir pre-primary, want al die skole is baie vol. So ons wag nog om die klasse uit te vind om my kind pre-primary te vat. Tamariska is vol, Hanganeni is vol, al die skole waar ek geloop is vol en ek is baie teleurgestel.
Waar is jou seun nou?
Hy is nog steeds by die huis.
En jy wag nog op die ministerie om vir jou te laat weet of daar plek is of nie?
Ja, meneer.
En ken jy baie mense wat ook sukkel?
Ja, baie kinders het die skool gekry, oor my broers is dogtertjie.
En is sy ook by die huis?
Sy is ook by die huis.
Sjoe, dis nogal baie erg. Dankie Desiree.
Plezier, meneer.
And now for our front page news. On its front page, the Allgemeine Zeitung leads with an article that describes the conflict created by the report that led to an outcry in November when Adam Cruz and CZ Susander presented what they called a study and investigative report that found the environmental program of Namibia to be a farce. They summarily discounted all benefits that had previously been derived from the Community-Based Nature Resource Management, CBNRM, that sees communal areas and their wildlife resources being run by the local and affected communities. In a new article brought by the investigative publication, Daily Maverick, these two journalists are taken to task, finding that they have presented a shoddy and prejudiced work that aims at getting a total ban on hunting, thus getting rid of sustainable hunting as a source of income to Namibian communities. The Republicans' lead article today focuses on the plight of people adversely affected by the rain and resultant flash floods over the past few days. Especially informal settlers in the low-lying areas of Ochamuse are affected and are now angered by the fact that they have been on waiting list of the municipality that has kept promising them to be resettled on higher ground. The Namibia Sun's front page focuses on the mounting pressure on the incumbent head of state, President Hage Geingob, to endorse the current vice president, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, as his successor. This has been a SWAPO party tradition for many years. The Namibian leads on its front page with a decision by the High Court that sees the city of Windhoek being forced to enter into a discussion with David Imbila, the son-in-law of Namibia's founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma. Imbila wants to lay his hand on a huge development site south of the capital's municipal buildings. The ground was originally awarded to an Italian developer at a price of 60 million Namibian dollars. The New Era has picked up on yesterday's lead article of the Namibian. It expands on the report by the World Bank that sees 1.6 million Namibians defined as living under poverty. The article focuses on the proposal to introduce policy reforms in order to fight this national poverty level. Leaning towards the New Era article about poverty, the Market Watch today leads with an article explaining what not to do if we want to engage with investors with the aim of improving the economy. The Economic Policy Research Association, EPRA, has taken a look at the proposed investment bill, warning that it will do more harm than good. The heading of the article says it all: improve competitiveness to reduce poverty. This week's edition of The Zone leads with an introduction to Desiree Mateus, who currently serves as the advisor to President Hage Geingob in matters that revolve around youth and enterprise development, i.e. the creation of jobs. And now let's have a look on the inside pages of our daily newspapers. Allgemeine Zeitung focuses on the fact that cormorants and terns are currently found to be very tame and not afraid of humans. This is apparently a possible sign of bird flu that broke out in the Western Cape, causing the death of up to 25,000 birds along the Benguela coast. It now seems very likely that the virus has spread to the Namibian coast. Republican on its page 3 brings an interesting court report that revolves around the National Fishing Corporation, Fishcorp, jointly with the Ministry of Fishing and Marine Resources, standing accused by Napoleon Fishing and Marine Produce of having maliciously refused to extend their fishing licenses and permits. It is alleged that previous fishing rights of Napoleon have been unreasonably allocated to Fishcorp, which in turn transferred those rights to the fishing company and Winter Fishing. The Namibian Sun informs us on their page 3 about developments as regards to the opposition party's IPC's coastal candidate, Siske Howard-Smith. She was suspended by the IPC in October 2021 while serving as member of the Erongo Regional Council. She and her lawyer challenged the merits of the suspension and want it overturned. The Namibian on its page 3 provides an update of the visit by the president of the opposition party, PDM, McHenry Venani. Benani paid the new fuel storage facility of Walvis Bay a visit and insists that the party will apply for a bill of quantities when the new parliamentary sessions kick off for 2022. He insists that the money invested in the project should be looked at more closely to ensure that the nation has received value for tax monies invested. And with that, we have reached the end of our show. From me, Glenn Rashipura, please do join me again tomorrow, same time, same place. But before that, up next, the weather.